What up, guys? This is FreedomVapor here with another video for you. This one is going to be a review of my current setup that I am vaping right now. It is a Aspire BDC 2.0 with an NO starter type, Ego type battery on the bottom. Not very powerful battery at all. It's just what I've had for a little while. I'm in the middle of upgrading to a better battery, maybe a mech mod, whatever I feel like, I guess. But originally, alright, well, no. This battery, it's alright. It's an Ego type battery. Egos are generally bigger than this. This, for reference, isn't. But this isn't even bigger than my first finger. So it's not the best battery, but it does what I need, more or less. I just vape around my house, vape in the car, I don't try to blow clouds and impress people. I just hobbyist vapor. So this is all I need. I'll show you. See, it's just like a cigarette puff. It does do good on the flavor category. It does. I do enjoy the flavor it puts out. It is better than the starter C4 with the wicks in it. I do like this better than that. It is like I said, it's the Aspire BDC. BDC stands for bottom dual coil, for those of you who didn't know. And the most starter pens, they come with the ones with the wicks at the top, the 2 wicks on each side. They fold down into the liquid and they soak the liquid up. They're silica wicks. They soak the liquid up and they go into your coil in there, or whatever it uses to heat it up and provide vapor. This one has replaceable coils in the bottom here that they last a while. I have not gone through one yet, and I've had this for at least a month, maybe 2. I'm not really sure. They do last a while, and you'll know to change them because they get a burning taste, kind of like when the wicks go bad in the other ones. You get a really harsh burning taste. You don't really taste flavor. You'll know it's not very enjoyable at all. And so I do like that. I do like this better than the wicks, because the wick ones, they'll go bad after 2 weeks. I've had my starter kit. It came with two of those wick coils, and both those are bad now. They came with the battery. They're both bad now. They're just junk. They burn right where they connect at the top. They burn there first, and once that's gone, it's not even worth smoking. It's not. Unless you absolutely needed the nicotine, I wouldn't even smoke off of them after they've been burnt like that, because it's just an awful flavor. It's no flavor. It just tastes like burning battery acid almost. I don't know what that tastes like, but I imagine it's not very good. And from this tank has a 510 connector on the bottom, so it'll connect to most pens, most mech mods, most box mods. Almost every single battery that you can find out there, this 510 connector will connect to. This battery, it connects to this battery. This was sold separate from it. This will connect to everything, almost everything except for Vaping Plus. I talked about it in my introduction video. If you haven't seen it, go to my channel and you can look at it. But Vaping Plus, they're junk. You can get them for about $10-15 at your local gas station, and they're just bad. They're awful. It's not compatible with anything. See, 5 threads on the inside on this battery, threads on the outside. The CE4 type tanks have the threads with the outside, for the outside. This one's 510 connector threads for the inside. And this little section there, you might be able to see it where the hole's at. That touches the contact down there, and when you press the button right here, see how it's lighting up? You press the button down there, it touches that, and it heats up the coil on the inside, and that's how you get the vapor out of these. You can unscrew the top You can unscrew the top right there, and the mouthpiece you can come out, but I don't like taking that out. You never want to open this when there's still liquid in it, because then the liquid will get inside the battery and it'll flood it pretty much, and you'll just start gurgling if you try to put it back on and smoke from it. And you also do not want to get liquid into the centerpiece right here. I'll show you. You take this apart to fill it up. You do the same thing. You just flip it upside down and just have it on there pretty good. And it creates a vacuum actually when you put it in there. But you just unscrew this. This is the same way to replace the coils. You unscrew this thing. I'm trying not to get liquid on me. And you would just fill the liquid into this tank right here. You just fill it into the sides, and whatever you do, there you go. You do not want to get liquid into that centerpiece right there, because that centerpiece leads directly into your mouth. So whatever goes into that centerpiece goes in your mouth. You also want to occasionally clean out your mouthpiece too, because there might be some liquid that gets stuck around the rims, and take a big hit and just swallow a bunch of liquid. It's not harmful to you, like really harmful to you. It's just nasty. It's really nasty what it is. And for those of you who've vaped at all, I'm sure you've had at least 1 or 2 times where you've tasted liquid, and it's not very delicious. Not as delicious as it is to smoke it. But right there is the coil. You can unscrew those from the bottom part and replace them. They're not that bad. This one came with 2 other replacement coils when I bought it originally, before I had to take one back. And like I said, I still haven't burnt out this coil. It's lasted me a long time. I really do like this tank. The only thing I do wish is more vapor. The flavor's good. It could use an improvement on the flavor, but I mean, for a pretty low range tank, it was about between 20 and 30 bucks at my local shop. I can't remember. It wasn't a bad price, and for that, it's a pretty good tank. It's lasted a lot longer than those Ego style whip ones did, but I like it. Also, with these, you don't want to let the liquid go below the coil, because when you put liquid in here, it creates a vacuum that pulls the vacuum pulls the liquid down into the coil, so that there's actually a wick, like there's a wick and stuff inside the coil, and it pulls the liquid into that and keeps it saturated. That way you can continuously get smoke. And if you don't, then it will, if it gets below that, the top of that coil, it will leak out the bottom. And I've had that happen. It'll just start leaking out the bottom, not at like a draining rate, but you'll notice it because you'll just have your hands all covered in the liquid and you can smell it on your hands. And it's just, I don't like getting liquid everywhere. It's not fun. One complaint about this is you will never have a full tank, because when you hold it upside down to fill it, you take this part off, right? That you take the coil off, the bottom part like I showed you, and you want to fill it onto the sides, but you don't want to get any in the middle, so you never want to fill it up above the middle part. And the middle part, you can see, is quite a bit below the edge of the tank. So you'll always have that much room between the top of the tank, which isn't that bad. If you could fill it up all the way, you'd get a lot longer time for vaping on one tank. I mean, I've probably been vaping off this. This was full probably about 2 days ago. I mean, it lasted me quite, and like I chain vape a lot, and it's actually lasted me a while. So not a big complaint on that part. Just kind of something that I wish I could just fill it up like a little bit more. It just bothers me. It's a little like OCD type tick. Other than that, it's a great tank. And if I had a better battery, it'd be even better. I just don't have it. I'd like to have a variable voltage battery, or a MechMod even, or something. At least a variable voltage. For getting this, you want to get a bigger battery, at least an Ego variable voltage. My friend has an Aspire Mini Nautilus tank on top of a Aspire variable voltage carbon fiber battery. Things like this big. It's awesome. It's just beautiful. It's a silver carbon fiber, and a variable voltage on the bottom. And this tank is variable airflow, which is just awesome too. If you want rather like because you can change it from a cigarette style hit to a like a cloud style hit where you just get a ton of air, and it's great. So you want to at least get a variable voltage one, and you can go and get one of those Aspire tanks, or not tanks, but a battery variable voltage that go with it beautifully, and it's just phenomenal. It's such an improvement. I would recommend this to starters. I wouldn't go from if I would go from like a wick style to like this style because it's not so much more complicated to where you can't understand it, but it's not as basic as it was before, like with the ego styles. So you can start by getting a new tank, which I would recommend. You don't really want to start getting a new battery because it's not that bad. I would start with getting a new tank because then you can get a new battery after that. Because the tanks you have now, the wick style, those go bad before the battery would. So you can use the tank on the old battery, and when you get the chance to buy a new battery and use the new tank on top of that, it'll be even better. So that's what I would recommend doing. And most of the Ego style batteries, they use this charger. You just screw it on here and it has a little light when you plug it in. It's a USB. I just plugged it into this extra USB housing I got. You plug it into that. It's a relatively short cord. It's not very long. Probably about not even a foot. But you just plug it into that. You just screw it onto that like you would the tank, and it charges it. I've been on this charge for probably about 2-3 days now with continuous vaping. It's not bad, but you can get better batteries. They'll last you for a long time with one of these tanks. Now, the different tanks do take different power and sub-ohming, and it's just a whole new world. Sub-ohming and dripping and all that stuff. But from the e-cig type, wick style, ego style vape pens, I would step up to something like this. This is what I vape. This is what I vape daily. I'm trying to upgrade, but this is what I have for now, and it does what I need to. And so I love it. It's cheap. It's not very expensive at all. I just like it. It's convenient for me. I can put it in my pocket. It's not overly huge like some of the box mods. The box mods are like 3-4 inches wide. You just like this on the thing, and it's just kind of unpractical if you're going to go anywhere. So I like this for that reason too. And I mean, if you guys have, that's about all I have for that review. If you'd like to know anything else about this BDC, this Aspire BDC 2.0, just comment, PM me, whatever you want. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And have a nice day and vape on, guys.